which of the following sentences is true? So we're looking for a true statement about the following graphs. And in this case, we have two graphs that have absolute value. Remember, if it has absolute value, your graph should be forming a V. And they ask you to go through each of the options and find out which is a true statement. So let's go through the first one. The graphs have different shapes. Now, what do they mean by different shapes? They means that one of them is wider and the other one's narrow. And they have different vertices. So let's go through the first one. You need to think, okay, what determines the shape of the graph? What determines whether it's wider or narrow? Correct, the A value. So in this case, we have a 4, and a negative 4 and a negative 4. So do they have different shapes? No. They have the same shape. So A is not the answer. Letter B. One graph has a vertex that's a maximum, and while the other graph has a vertex that's a minimum. So we're looking for one that has a maximum and a minimum. Remember, in this case, this is a negative 4, so the graph will be facing down. Therefore, the vertex will be the maximum. For the next graph, that's a negative as well, so the graph will also be facing down, and the vertex will be the highest point, which is the maximum. So one vertex has a maximum, yes, while the other one has a minimum, no. Let's go to letter C. The graphs have the same shape. Do they have the same shape? Yeah, they both are 4s. Remember, if one of them is a 4 and the other one's a negative 4, they still have the same shape. They're just facing one up and one down. But in this case, they both are 4, so they do have the same shape. And do they have different vertices? The vertex is your H and your K. Remember, your H is the opposite, and your K will be the same. So in this case, will be negative 4 and positive 3. This will be negative 4 and positive 3. So do they have different vertices? No. C is not the answer. The vertices are maximum. So the vertex is maximum. This is a maximum. The vertex is a maximum, and the vertex is a maximum. So the answer will be letter D. Remember to go through each of the options and analyze the statements to determine which is true.